Are you struggling to feel strong in your half moon pose? Do you feel like you're wobbling all about, or do you just feel like you're not getting it? I have got you. Half moon pose, or in Sanskrit, Ardha Chandrasana, is quite a difficult pose, but when it's done correctly, it's great for helping to strengthen into your hamstrings, work on hip flexibility and leg flexibility, and it also helps strengthen into your shoulders as well. It's great for balance, and it's really good for mobility too. So it's a really good pose to keep practicing because it has so many benefits. In today's class, I'm going to be showing you a step-by-step guide of how to do half moon pose, and this does include your preparation and also some tips as well to get you from a place of struggle to a place of strength and clarity in this pose. Let's go. Because half moon is a balancing pose, it's really important that you're using a good quality grippy yoga mat, and this just means that you're less likely to slip onto the mat because the mat will have better grip, and it will also have really good grip onto the floor as well. If you're new to half moon poses, or maybe your balance isn't great, or maybe your flexibility is not great, I would highly suggest grabbing yourself a yoga block. You can use cushions. You could do this with a chair, a stool, just to kind of help you, especially if this is the very first time that you're coming into your half moon pose, or maybe you're just a beginner in yoga and getting used to everything. We're going to start standing. When you come into your half moon pose, you want to start with your toes hip width apart and facing forwards. I always like to encourage my students to try and lift, spread the toes apart from each other, place them down one at a time and grip the mat with their toes. So the reason that we do this is the wider your toes are apart, the more surface area you've got. Obviously, when you're balancing, you want to be able to shuffle that surface area or shuffle the weight across your toes. So the more surface area there is between your toes, the easier it is to balance because you're not balancing onto a tiny point. So try and get yourself or your toes spread as widely as possible, and then they're gripping onto the mat, and that grip is going to help with balance as well. So start maybe halfway down on your mat. Feet hip width, lift and spread your toes apart, place them down one at a time and grip the mat with your toes. We're going to take one of the hands down and out in front of you. So let's do this with a block to begin with. You can use 2 blocks. If you've got 2 blocks, you can use stools, chairs, whatever works best for you. We're going to take this nice and slowly. So let's place both hands down onto the block and lift, spread the toes apart. You can always take a bend into the knees here as well if you want to. We're going to lift up the left leg and try and get this into your right angle, staying here. So this might be enough for you, and this is absolutely fine. Think of this as your first kind of step into getting into your half moon. You want to have a nice strong base leg, so try not to let it wobble out underneath you if you feel like it's wobbling. Either take a bend into the knee or place more height in front of you. Whatever you're using onto the floor, whether you're using blocks or not, sofa, chairs, you want to make sure your hands are spread and you're pushing through your hands. Lifting up the back leg, so we're trying to engage through the glute here. You should feel that glute muscle switch on. So if this feels enough, you can stay here. If you want a little bit more, we're going to start to lift the left hip up towards the ceiling. So think about bringing your belly button over towards the long edge of the mat. So if your right leg is down and your right hand is down into the floor or onto your block, think about lifting the left hip up and bringing your belly button to face the long edge of your mat. And this is going to help with that hip movement. Now, if you're finding that your hips are just not doing that movement, you can't open the hips, you can always do this down onto the knees. And if you're really struggling with balance, you can always do this variation as well. It helps to get your hips in the right place. It helps to get you in the right position, and it just helps with sort of knowing how you need to be. So we're going to start on our knees. If you do want to use blocks here, again, you can do padding under the knees as well, absolutely fine. So take the knees down. We're going to place the right hand down into the mat. You want to make sure your right hand is directly underneath your right shoulder and your fingers are facing forwards. So your fingers are facing the front of your mat. We're lifting up the left leg. So you can either keep it straight like this and maybe just focus on rolling your hip here. Notice that movement. Maybe put your hand onto the hip joint and actually feel it, notice it moving. Push through your bottom hand and maybe lift up the top leg. So this is the kind of position that you're in when you're in your half moon pose. Your belly button is facing towards the long edge of the mat. Your hip is lifted, your leg is lifted, and we're flexing through the left toe. So we're pushing through the bottom hand. Maybe you can lift up the top arm as well. This is kind of what we're looking for, but with our straight leg underneath you when you're standing. So if this feels enough, you can stay here. Maybe you can lift and lower the leg. If you're practicing on getting some hip strength, hip mobility, this is a really good thing that you can do, is just lift and lower the leg. Maybe you want to face forwards as well, so you can come down and do a similar sort of principle, but instead of having your belly button facing this way to begin with in your gate pose, you can lift up the left leg and lift the hip forwards and back. So imagine both of your hip bones are aligning forwards and then over to the side, forwards and up. So you're lifting one leg, you're lifting up and down, up and down. Now this can be quite a lot for some people, so if your hips just do not feel like they're moving, you're really struggling to kind of lift that hip up and pushing up through the bottom hand. If that just feels too much for you, work on some hip mobility, things like malasana squats, things like lunges, moving in your lunge, doing lizard pose and moving with the hip. We just want to get some nice movement across the hip bones. And you can do this from standing as well, with or without your block in front of you, lifting and spreading the toes, hands are on the block. You can keep both hands down onto the block or onto the mat, and then just think about squaring those hips forwards and lifting the hip up. Squaring forwards, lifting up. If you're lifting up enough through your top leg, you'll probably find that this left hand starts to lift anyway. So as I lift my hip, my weight does shift into my right hand. So this is why it's so important to make sure you've got good contact with the floor and your right hand is kind of ready to take that weight, because as you lift or as you roll up your left hip, you're going to end up moving the weight into the right hand side of the body. You can do this again, like I said, with and without the block. Hips are down and then lift it up. Hips are down and then lift it up. So play around with it here. See what feels best for you. Make sure you're flexing through your bottom or your back foot. And then maybe if you can hold here, you can start to lift up the top hand. And again, you can do this with a block as well. So you can always place your blocks down, push through the bottom hand, lifting here. Taking this into your full half moon pose, spreading through the fingers on your bottom hand, lifting your hip up high. Maybe you can start to lift the head up too. So play around with this here, see what feels best for you, and we'll take this on to the other side. So just to really quickly go over and to recap, we're lifting and spreading the toes apart, making sure you've got good surface area on your feet and you're gripping the mat with your toes. We're lifting up through the legs here, engage through those legs so they're kind of ready to take the weight. You can always use your block here if you want to, so place the block out in front or stool, chair, whatever you're using. And then we'll place the hands either down onto your block or down into the floor. Placing both hands to begin with and lifting up the bottom leg, or your left leg, sorry. No, lifting up your right leg. We'll then start to lift the hip up towards the ceiling, so you're kind of pushing the belly button to face the long edge of the mat. And then maybe you can lift up the bottom hand. The top hand. Keep pushing through the left hand, squaring your shoulder blades onto your back, so you're kind of squeezing your right shoulder back. We're going to hold this here. Push through the bottom shoulder. We'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly come down. Let's wriggle out the legs. So from here, we want to look at maybe some tips to get you feeling nice and strong in your half moon. How do we get this to hold it? Well, it is working in the shoulders. So doing things like your tiger pose will help. So maybe coming into your tabletop as your option 1, spreading through your fingertips as much as possible. So it's the same principle with on your feet. You want to have a really good surface area across your hands so that as the weight kind of shifts from your body, you can kind of move it back. Maybe focus on this for a while, have the fingers really wide and just work the weight from side to side. Feel it shifting across your fingertips and kind of learn how to bring that weight back into neutral. Maybe just pushing up through your shoulders here. So I'm not pushing up and away like a cat spine. I'm just engaging in my shoulders. I'm kind of pushing the floor and the mat away from you, which is what you want to be doing when you come into your half moon pose. Maybe from here you can lift up the opposite leg and the opposite hand. And again, pushing through your bottom hand, engaging through that bottom shoulder, using your muscles here to bring your right shoulder up by your ear. So you're really engaging through the body and switching on your glute muscles. So you're switching on your glutes to really pull that leg up. Now you don't need to bring the leg all the way up towards the ceiling. We're looking for a 45-degree angle here. No, we're not. Sorry, we're looking for a 90-degree angle here. So lifting the leg, flexing the toes. We're working on the same principles as when we come into our half moon pose. Maybe lift through the shoulder. You can do this on one side, swap over and do the other. Maybe bending into your back knee and see if you can grab hold of the foot. Again, opposite hand to foot and push into the hands. This is your tiger pose. And again, we're focusing on pushing through that bottom hand. The more you spread your fingers on your bottom hand and the more you push through the shoulder, the easier holding this pose will be. So that's going to help to build strength. What else can we do? Down dogs, similar sort of principle. Coming into your down dog pose. So start with your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, flexing the toes, hips back to the heels, lift the knees and lift all the way up. If you need to take a bend into the knees and lift your heels, you can do here, but we're thinking about pushing the floor and the mat away here. That's where that strength comes from. Push the floor away, push the mat away. Shoulders are up by your ears. Chest is in towards the thighs. Maybe lifting one hand, bringing it back down. Maybe you can do it with a straight arm. Again, we're kind of working on creating balance here and strength. Maybe lifting one leg and down, and the other leg and down. More things that you can do to kind of work into the shoulders and work into those leg muscles. Like I said before, hip mobility is really helpful. So doing things like your lizard pose. So let's pick up the left leg with the hands underneath the shoulders and place the left foot next to the left hand. Slide your back knee behind and maybe come into some little circles here. This is going to create some mobility into the hips, which is going to kind of help to do that movement of having your hip bones forwards and then out to the side. Take this onto the other side, picking up the left foot and taking it back. We'll do the same on the right. Lift the right leg, step it next to the right hand, back knee slides behind, coming into some circles with the hip. Can rock forwards and backwards as well, but these are the kind of movements that are going to help. We'll pick up that right foot and take it back. These are the kind of movements that are going to help you to move the hip. So when you come into your half moon, we're thinking strength through your shoulder as we're pushing through your bottom shoulder. We're thinking of
Hip movement, so lifting the hip up, and this is where that hip flexibility comes from. Strengthen the shoulder, strengthen your leg, flexing your bottom toe and lifting your top arm up. Holding this here, finding your center of balance. You can gaze down, you can gaze forwards, or sort of out to the side, or maybe start to gaze up.
Now you should be feeling confident and like you can master half moon pose. But did you know that there are loads of variations that you can do of half moon pose? These variations can help you build even more strength and confidence in the pose, and they're also really good fun. Click on my half moon pose variation video to learn more. I'll see you there.